Hey guys, and thanks for joining me for yet another video. In this presentation, we're going to take a look at a fruit that we prepared before, which is called tamarind. The last time we made tamarind, we made a tamarind sauce. This time we're gonna make another classic. It's called tamarind balls. It's when you well season, you break down the tamarind and then you well season it. It's a sugary, sweetie treat. Well, let's get into this video. Hey y'all, and thanks for joining me for another video. In this video, we're gonna make yet another favorite of mine. It's another Trinidadian sweet, or I should say Caribbean snack. It's gonna be made out of tamarind. Tamarind, as you've seen, I made a recipe recently with tamarind sauce. So this is the tamarind, this is what it looks like. The actual fruit is inside the shell, so I'm going to be cracking it out of the shell as well as taking this vein out of it, and I'll show you. So like I was saying, yeah, you take the shell off like you just saw, and then you take off the vein off of the tamarind. You're going to also be discarding that vein off of it, and you're going to be left with the tamarind. In this case, I'm not going to be taking the seeds out because this preserve or this snack is usually enjoyed with seeds or without, but in this case I'm going to leave the ones that stay in, and the ones that come out I'll just take them out. So yeah, I'll show you what the rest look like after I peel. So after you peel out the tamarind out of the stem and the shell, it looks like this when you're done. So it's just a whole bunch of tamarind. There's the seeds inside. As you crack it, you'll see the seed that's inside there. There's a seed in that pulp. But anyway, so we're gonna move forward with seasoning this. All of this is garbage now, the stem and the shell. We're not gonna be using that at all, so you can throw that out in the garbage, and we're gonna proceed. So to make tamarind balls, you're gonna need a few ingredients. I have here 2 cups of white sugar, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of green seasoning, half a teaspoon of hot sauce, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. I also have some ginger. I'm going to be using half a teaspoon of ginger and a tablespoon of garlic. I might increase the garlic as we go. I'm just going to start with a tablespoon. So I'm going to be combining. I added 1 tablespoon of garlic, half a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of hot sauce, a tablespoon of green seasoning, as well as I'm going to put in that vanilla extract. And I'm going to be mixing these ingredients together to combine sort of a paste. And then I'm going to be putting that paste onto the tamarind and combining that as well. We're going to be sprinkling the salt over the tamarind. So to my tamarind, I'm going to add, out of this 2 cups, I'm going to add 1 cup of white sugar. I'm going to add the full cup of brown sugar. Sorry. I'm also going to be putting in my salt at this point. My 1 teaspoon of salt. And now we can introduce the green seasoning into this bowl. So we're just going to be pouring in our mixture, and we're going to be giving this a mix. So after adding those seasonings to your bowl, what you're going to do, I put on some gloves only because I have some, like the hot sauce is pretty thing in there. It's not strong at this point, but in this initial stage I'm just going to probably wear gloves. Usually I don't, but I'm just gonna wear it to show you what we're actually doing. So now the point I'm making here is to go through the tamarind with the sugar. So we're gonna be doing this for a while. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing this until we get sort of a dough. This is gonna turn into a dough by the time I'm done. So I'm gonna just be massaging this through, and I'll show you what this formulates to look like in a bit. But it's going to take a while for me to rub in all the seasoning and sugar into this tamarind and break it down. But I'll keep you posted on what's going on here. But yeah, so you're just pressing the sugar and seasoning into the tamarind. So I just added a half a teaspoon more of ginger to this, and I'm going to just be adding a little bit of my 1 cup of sugar that I have left over top that, and I'm just going to be using, I took off my glove by the way. It was a bit hard to mix with the glove on. The glove acted like it wanted to rip, so I just would go in with my raw hands I'm gonna have to eventually do that anyways to be balling this up into the shape that it goes into. But since it's still so wet, I'm just gonna keep adding the sugar until it starts to form to a dough that I feel comfortable putting my hands in to roll, because I feel like it's taking up all the moisture. I may have to add more sugar. I hope not until the next stage. I hope this is enough to bind this whole thing. I'm gonna probably be going in with my hands now, and I'm gonna be going in from one side here. And how I do it is I feel through my tamarind. If they're doubled or together, I pull them apart and press it out. If any seeds show up, this is a great time to throw them out, because you know you can't eat the seed, right? So you just throw it out if it pops out of the skin while you're doing this. But you want to mash the tamarind out so that that paste can get into that sugar and everything can flavor. So I take a bit of time to do that. Here's another seed. So that's what I'll be doing for the next while. I'll be just going into the tamarind, separating it and pressing it out, because remember, the paste on the tamarind is what's giving the sugar the flavor of the tamarind to make the balls out of them. So it's very important to get the tamarind off of the seed so that you can season the sugar with it, you know. So that's what I'm doing here right now. I'm gonna probably go through the whole thing that way so you could see. So after mixing it in, like I showed you, I got it to bind nice and firmly, which is what you want. And then over here, I have a round bowl with 3/4 cup of sugar, and then the tray that it's gonna be in, I dusted it with a teaspoon of sugar, just so that when I put it down, it adheres to that, you know, and the stickiness doesn't come through. It just grabs the sugar that it's sitting on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the process of me getting the size you choose to go with is totally up to you. Like for me, I think this size is appropriate, like something like this is appropriate. So what I do is I come over here, I dust it in the sugar. I'm gonna need 2 hands to put it in a perfect ball. You don't necessarily, but if I want a perfect ball, I need my 2 hands to roll it together. But if I just keep dusting it around on the sugar like this, eventually, so yeah, basically that's your first tamarind. I'm just gonna place it onto a lightly sugar dusted surface where it's gonna be resting, or you know, withholding its shape. So we continue again. Grab another piece that you like, another size that you're comfortable with. I kind of form it into the ball, then we go straight into the sugar, and then you just roll it around and you'll feel the bind. It'll start to bind, so it'll get a bit more firmer. So I'm back to show you the finale of these tamarind balls. I'd say I safely got about 30 tamarind balls from this selection here, which is really nice. I just garnished it with some fresh tamarind, and yeah, these are what the tamarind balls look like. I'm gonna just break into one for you so you could see. Yeah, nice and soft.